Hello, everyone. We are live for the AdBank AMA. I'm just going to be sharing the link with in a few places, and we'll let everyone get in. All right, just shared. We'll get a few people join in, and then yeah, share that. Share if everyone can hear me okay. Just sharing it on a couple channels. All right, looks like link's working. A couple people are joining. If anyone wants to write in the chat if they can hear me okay, that would be great. All right, perfect. Got confirmation that the sound is good. Let's give it one more minute and then we'll get started. And so this will be available for playback for anyone. Is that Ant or TOB? Ghost Tony. Right on. Welcome. All right, we'll get started, and this will be all available for perfect. That's what I knew. Thought it was you, Ant. All right, we'll get started, and then this will be available for replay online for anyone. Plan today, go through what the key plan is for 2021. Great time to do a reflection, looking back at the last year, and then talk about some of the goals that we've got in place for 2021, and make sure to answer all the questions that have been popping up. Shai, good to see you. All right, so kind of quick highlights. What were we trying to achieve in 2020? What did we achieve? So the big one was pushing towards 100K users. We were at 25,000 users at the start of the year. We got 3x growth. The goal was 100. We came up just short of that at like 97,000 by right at the end of the year, and growth is continuing. So big success on getting the users in. And then 2021 is now about how do we better serve those users and drive the ecosystem that for those users around the ADB token. So quick summary on some of the goals from 2021 and how we did. So the big focus was that achieving the 100,000 users, which again, just a razor's hair away from. Effective CPM over 2.5. So we achieved that on some campaigns, didn't achieve it on others within the task marketplace. And so what this essentially means is, one of the core questions that comes up is about how do we generate value in the ecosystem in ADB, and the need is that we need to have this ecosystem so that the tasks that are being completed are valuable for people to buy, and then the amount that they receive is less than the advertiser paid, therefore stimulating demand in the ecosystem in those tasks being completed in ADB. And so we need to drive our CPM higher. We had some tasks that we achieved $2.50 equivalent for CPM, but we got to drive that higher, and overall we didn't achieve it consistently. Task marketplace tested and rolled out, success. World's first creative ad case study. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the pivot, and the new AdBank website was done. So Frankie, good to see you. Welcome. So plan for 2021 and what's changed. So the plan for 2021 is to focus on what's working. We got new tech coming in Q1 that's going to focus on the task marketplace. We're going to shut down non-core activities. So what we originally, like every project, like every company, what we started out with in terms of what we were aiming to build, the marketplace has not demanded that as much as it has demanded sort of Blade, and then the task marketplace attached to Blade is where we've seen by far the most traction, and that's where we're going to keep leaning on. I was talking to somebody the other day, remain nameless, but similar situation to us in 2017, a VPN related product. For it to be functional, they need to get to kind of 1 million users, and 2 years in, they shuttered 50 users. And so I think, that staying too dedicated to your original idea can unless it's, immaculate conception, will lead to disaster. Where we wanted to go did not get the traction that we hoped it would. Where we have gone has clearly received traction, and now we need to focus on where we've received that traction and where we're going, and that's where the new tech in Q1 is coming from. That's where we're shutting down the non-essential, non-core assets. So Relay.digital, which didn't get the right level of traction through COVID, and get focused on Blade growth, and keep that machine running. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. So so to maybe sort of directly answer the question on like what's the status around original vision relative to current path. The original vision, the original tech that was built is still sitting there, but it was built to do the task that it was designed to be built. What we're now needing to do is a different task, and so that's where the current development effort that's underway, being led by Connor, is going to be. You're going to be seeing Blade looking different, looking more usable for executing the tasks. And then what it also opens us up to being able to do is, one of by far the most requested, like by an order of magnitude, the most requested thing is, why can't Blade be on mobile? And so, we haven't shared all the details, but in 2021, Blade will be on mobile. What that will look like, we're gonna be sharing some more details. But it's pretty exciting that by far the most requested thing is Blade on mobile, factor of 10 over anything else. And because of that request, we will be making the tech changes in Q1 to set the foundation for us to be able to go onto mobile later in the year. So the other. Tarek, thanks for the question. I'll definitely make sure to get to that. So the other goals that I'll talk through is to get the ecosystem working. And so I think this is the other kind of commonly discussed question is, what's the model? Why do I care? How does this benefit me having ADB? And so the same ecosystem, the same token economics that existed from the very start continue to exist. And we'll talk a little bit about how we're trying to add an extra layer of that sort of I call it 2021 flavoring to that, and some opportunities that exist that'll be interesting. So in 2021, how does ADB function? And so same way as before. Advertiser comes to us and wants to have a task completed. They go to the secondary exchange, buy ADB, purchase the task to pay the end users. The portion of ADB that flows through the system into AdBank gets held in reserve, taking supply out of the marketplace, more advertisers coming on board. As we drive up the user base is 3x in the last year. We now need to get more users, more advertisers on board with the tasks. We've proven that the tasks that we can complete, are valuable to advertisers, and we now need to keep that moving. The total addressable market of the task marketplace is significantly lower than sort of the total addressable market of the original vision around the digital advertising platform and digital advertising ecosystem. However, we will now continue to focus on the task marketplace, holding the tech that has been built for the digital advertising play in reserve with the AI that's been built, all that sitting there. But we need to get we need to get meat on the bone. We need to get some momentum before we can pursue that. So yeah, Tarek, I'll jump onto both the questions that you asked. Listing on Better Exchange. We I know it's a frustrating answer that I've shared all the time at AMAs. We can't talk about exchanges. We are on KuCoin. Relationship there is stable. Blade doesn't work on Chrome, so the plan for Q1 around what the Blade extension was built to connect into the digital advertising platform that was originally built. So we're now using it around the task marketplace under we've pivoted to serve a different function. What's happening in Q1 is sort of the decoupling of a lot of the more complex pieces that are connected into the larger AdBank platform, and focusing on what's the core, and that is the task marketplace. As a result of that, we're going to see significantly increased reliability. So specific to your question, sort of the gap in support, we can always get better at that. In terms of it not working, in the use cases where it hasn't worked, we're aware of why I believe we're aware of why it hasn't worked, and we're solving those problems in Q1 with the new extension, and then later into 2021 with mobile. So continuing on the ecosystem discussion, so improving the tech around the building it sort of purpose built for the task marketplace, driving more sales through the task marketplace, which has proved to be valuable to advertisers, and getting that entire ecosystem working. With every time an advertiser buys ADB tokens, the portion flows through to the end user that completed the task. Portions locked in AdBank reserves. This and in discussions with TOB and Ant, one of the topics that we will be exploring quickly in 2021 is the emergence of the DeFi platforms, and what is a possibility for AdBank to be connected into one of them, to create some interesting opportunities for the person that completes the task to continue to hold the ADB token. So that's what we'll get into now, but it'll be interesting. Frankie, I've got hello, and did my messages get sent? So your message on here getting sent, and I didn't have any questions from the name Frankie. So if there is any questions that you've got, feel free to drop them in here, and I'll respond to them. Okay, so we've talked about kind of focus on what's working, get the ecosystem working, and then the third item that's a key focus for us is to extend runway. So we've had a few challenges in 2020 in terms of runway, the biggest of which was the eSig platform, which was acquired, had a significant challenge based on the regulations around vaping in the US, and all the smaller vaping companies, which were our primary customer with the eSig platform that we had been using and testing the AdBank platform with, to kind of validate it and eat our own dog food. A lot of those smaller customers have disappeared due to the regulation. So that business that was sort of had allowed us to achieve some months of infinite runway got clobbered in 2020, which was unfortunate. So the key takeaway on runway is that we have models that push us into 2023. Some decisions that I wish I didn't have to make will need to be made over the next year. And yeah, so we're able to, everything that we have planned in 2021, we have funding for, we're capable of executing on, and we'll be continuing to no impact on our plans. The models that we have built have us pushing through into 2023, but that's not without pain. So that's kind of where we're at on the runway, stable in the fight. Looking around at some of the projects of similar vintage. We're not where we want to be, but we feel extremely fortunate to be where we are. And so I think this dovetails nicely into Frankie, your questions. Sort of funds from the original raise, where we're at specifically around Celsius. So the partnership with Celsius was it was great, intact. We are in a position to continue to have the funds that so I don't talk about where things are, but where all the funds from the original raise, we have spent them on the development of the AdBank platform. We spent them on the marketing and the team through the process. I've not taken a salary in the last 3 years. So it's clear that the incentive, if the question's sort of around like, are our incentives aligned around the AdBank platform, ADB, with the people that are in this community, and the answer is definitely. So it was the question is the funds from the original raise. Certainly by the time that original raise was at, and that number is at sort of exactly at peak, and then very quickly it was reduced. So yeah, we're in a position to continue to execute on the plans through 2023, and 2021 is fully funded, and we'll still in the fight. Let me just check in. So those are kind of the key thoughts. I got a few final thoughts that I want to, or key plans for 2021. Got a few additional thoughts that I want to look and make sure we leave everyone with. But happy to answer any other questions. I'm just going to look back and make sure that I've touched on all of the questions. So we got some from Ahmed, coin holder. I know some of them I can answer. So sorry, Frankie, if you didn't think, have we spent the funds? We have spent. Have we spent the fund? So yes, we have spent the funds. We have not spent all the funds. I think is the answer, and we don't talk about how much is where. We don't answer. So does that answer your question? So new exchanges often comes up, and I've addressed that. We don't talk about exchanges. Understand the sort of the importance from the community standpoint. Why we're focusing on Task Marketplace, address that. A shout out to CryptoAnt and TOB for being awesome. I totally agree. So thank you guys. Question around when's the next update to the updating system. Yeah, so when's the next update to the Chrome and Firefox extension? So we're gonna, a significant update in Q1 coming. So Frank, we can what? So where transaction? So question around why have ADB tokens been sent from the main wallet to in this case KuCoin? We certainly don't talk to each of the transactions. We have providers to the project that part of their payment is in ADB. And some people choose to hold their crypto on an exchange. Yeah, I think same answer. The doctor was not cheap. Joni's not cheap, and Angelo Kelsey, all not. We had them all paying. Core team right now is on the website, always stays updated. It's myself, Narcissus, Connor, and Catherine is the core team, with the development partners Axon, who have been with us for 3 years, building the tech. Less so in the last kind of year in 2021. Big focus on bringing that as in-house as possible to increase our response time. One of the challenges we had in 2020, what I haven't talked about, was the gas costs and the delays associated with that in terms of sending funds. And I think I should address this a little bit more. Is one of the challenges from 2020 was gas costs and the speed of issuing the referral bonus or the task marketplace payments. That was a big challenge. And so, that has been, that was a challenge in 2020 that we were addressing with some changes in Q1 with the platform. And as gas costs, we're still susceptible to, if gas costs go sky high, it's stupid of us to send a 25-cent reward that costs $3 to send. Like that's just stupid. And so we need to find solutions to that. Frankie's on fire. Angus, so I mentioned Angus within Relay. So Angus came on board to bring in B2B businesses for Relay. That did not get the traction that we were hoping it would get. And that is one of these kind of, call it, non-core activities that we're shuttering in 2020. Or excuse me, shuttering in 2021. So I think, if anyone on the team has any thoughts on, so is he still? No, he is, as of the end of the year, he is transitioning out he's out this month. We're just cleaning up the last of the closing it down, but the decision to close it down has been made, and now he's transitioning out. I mean, I'm not sure what you want. Like, would it make sense for me to keep somebody that on a project that is not driving results for the project for the token? I'm not sure how you want me to answer that, but it's this is the process. We have the core team that's been here. Connor, Narcissus, Catherine have been here for years. TOB, Ant, years. This is the process. We are here. We're not going anywhere, and we're going to keep executing on what we've committed to doing. No, appreciate that, and totally, like, I get it from your end. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, and echo your comments around sort of like, streamlining is the right decision for 2021 in terms of focusing. Like, it's like we sent out a lot of hypotheses, over the years of what's working, and we've got 300% growth, 100,000 users. That's not numbers to sneeze at. Like, I mean, look at other projects. It's frustrating to some extent to look at other projects that have no working product, no user base, no community, and are getting different levels of love in the marketplace. And so I think all of that needs to equal out at some point. And where are we? We're hauling away on the tech, hauling away on building our user base, continuing to maintain community, and try and take care of all the little pieces. So some of the team members work on other projects, not full time. Again, from a how do we extend runway, and that's one of the strategies that we have used. Everyone gets split as needed if they're needed to. Okay. TUB or Ant, oh no, they're paid by, like, some of the project, they're paid by the project that they work on, the same way that anybody that would be working, part-time on different projects would be. So yeah, no, 100% separate. Okay. Let me see. Trying to keep this at under 30 minutes. So if there's any other questions, happy to answer. Okay, no, I think I got everything. Yeah, and always, yeah, TB, thanks again, always for your support, and then big thanks to the team in terms of their continued execution. Catherine's been doing a fantastic job on continuing to run the marketing machine, everything that you see come out, the strategies around the promotions, all comes from her. Connor continued to work away on the Q1. So big Q4 was a big effort into developing the strategy for Q1, and then we've got big development effort underway that Connor is busy slinging code on the updated extension, which will address a lot of the stuff that I talked about ahead of time. And then Narcissus, as sort of the operations lead, is keeping all the balls moving in terms of reward distribution, etc. So yeah, the core team is doing great and continue to do great, and yeah, appreciate their help. Couple others, I think I answered some. DeFi plans. So yeah, I mentioned that earlier. We are definitely exploring that. We think there's a great use case with people receiving ADB having some form of a partnership in with DeFi integration. I think there's a use case there that we are exploring and will continue to explore. All right. Appreciate the questions, guys. As always, we're doing these quarterly. Put your comments in Telegram, put them into the forum. We collect them all and make sure that we can get everything done. We are made great final note to end on. We are not winding down this project. We have no intention of winding it down. We will not be winding it down. We're, like I said, we have plans through to 2023 to keep this viable and pushing. I don't blame that question, because if you look around at projects from the same era, most are wound down, and we are not. We're happy to still be in the fight. We will continue to be for the foreseeable future here. All right. Thanks, everyone.